Okay, here's that moment of truth where I wait for the internet to wake up. Internet, what are you doing? YouTube, up, there's YouTube. Twitter, looking good. Twitter's rocking it. Now, Rockfin? Okay, Rockfin was a little slower, but that's okay. Rockfin actually beat YouTube. Yeah! Rockfin was faster than YouTube. I like it when Rockfin beats YouTube. I really do. I like it. But we're live, everybody. What's up? Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Today is the interview episode. And shout out to everyone who makes this show possible. Before we jump in, our friends over at Indie Left. Indie Left is a place to find all the content creators and streamers you know and love. They curate a list of articles and streams and all kinds of content. They update it twice a day to find out everything they got going on and to subscribe to their Discord. Check them out at independentleft.media. And also, for all you podcast listeners, you noticed during the theme song that was an encore presentation of Johan Mikhal's version of the Get Your News On with Ron theme song. Love what he did with it. To check out his music, check him out at johanmikhal.bandcamp.com. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'll spell it for you. JAHONMIKAL. That's johanmikhal.bandcamp.com. And that was his version of the Get Your News On with Ron theme song. If you want to have your own version of the theme song, send it to me. Just go to ronplacone.com, email it to me. It warms my heart, and it is much appreciated. All right, so today, this is her second time on the show. The first time she was here, we had an extensive conversation on Julian Assange because there was some breaking news around that. But we haven't had her on yet to discuss the Panquake project, which is a very exciting new platform that I'm really excited about. I've seen a demo about it, and we can't share everything because it's still in beta, but we're going to talk about some of it. So joining me today, please welcome back to the show, Susie Dawson. Susie, how are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. So let's start basic for anyone who might not be familiar with what you all got going on. What is Panquake?
Panquake is our lifeboat away from big tech censorship and away from suppression of our speech and based on our political opinions. It is the end of arbitrary account suspensions. It is the end of shadow banning, and it is going to bring a whole new world of transparency and comfort to people who want to be free to express themselves online without being punished by the platforms that they use for their legitimate and legal opinions.
Love it. So tell me a little bit more, like what can you share so far? Because I know that when you guys gave me a demo, there were a lot of neat bells and whistles there. There's a lot of neat things you can do with the platform itself because, there's a lot of platforms that come and go. And a lot of them, like, they'll say things like, oh, yeah, no censorship. And of course, that's great and that's important. But if they're not offering users something different, something cool, something helpful, well, a lot of times they kind of just fall by the wayside. And we've all seen that happen so many times. So what are some particulars about Panquake? I know there's the pancake theme that always makes me hungry for a sweet snack. But what are some particulars you can kind of go into?
So Panquake is, as you say, super cute. Our attractive GUI is unlike anything else that exists out there on the market right now. We deliberately made it super approachable, super fun, super colorful, and just like awesome to use. And you are one of the lucky few who've got to see it. We are really looking forward to being able to show the rest of the world what you have seen. But as you mentioned, we're still just preparing our beta release right now. So it's going to be a few months more before the world gets to see how awesome our UI is. But it's super intuitive, easy to use. It's a short messaging system, so it's similar to Twitter in that regard. But it has a whole bunch of super powerful functionality that Twitter does not have. So we give people the ability, for example, to only see the content that they want to opt into seeing. We don't insert anything onto your timeline at all that you haven't elected by following an account to see yourself. You can
no promoted posts,
no promoted posts,
none of that.
No content algorithms, no advertising at all, no ability to pay money to boost content at all. So every single user on the platform has the same ability to grow an audience and to promote their own content to that audience. And that audience is electing to see that content. We as a platform are not interfering in what you see on your timeline. The timeline is in chronological order. So you see the most recent content, and as you scroll down, you see content that is further into the past. We have a manual refresh function, so you decide when you want more fresh content to appear on the page. There is no needing to go between different pages, back and forward, open new windows on Panquake. Everything happens in a single view dashboard. All of the functionalities at your fingertips. Everything updates, all the content is loaded dynamically, which means you click on something and the content that you are trying to look at appears before you. You don't have to go to another page and then go back. Like Twitter is always forward and back, and open 10 different screens. You don't have to do any of that with Panquake. In terms of cool new functionality, we have got 4 pieces of amazing functionality that we invented ourselves that don't exist anywhere else. One is Panquakes, which is obviously what our platform is named for. That is the ability to curate content into a single link. So you can select messages by different accounts that you love. Maybe they're all about a topic. Maybe they're all about an event or a time period. Or maybe it's just all your favorite stuff that a particular person has quaked on the network. We call our messages on our network quakes instead of tweets. And then once you have selected all of those messages, you hit the Panquake stack button. It pops you up one single link. You can take that link, you can re-quake it onto Panquake onto your timeline, or you can post it anywhere on the internet. You can email it to someone, SMS it to someone, do whatever you want with it. When the person that you send it to clicks on that link, they're brought to panquake.com and they see a timeline populated only by the content that you selected for them to see. So if you're out doing a show with Graham, you want to get all your quakes of your pictures with fans and whatnot, or video footage of the show, or your event poster, all your different messages from the night, you just click on the messages you want to include in the Panquake, hit the stack button, you get that link, you can embed it on your website, you can email it to your mailing list, you can send it to whoever you want. When they hit that link, they're going to see an awesome looking Panquake timeline with just all of those posts that you've selected. Then of course they can interact with them, or they can share those posts individually, or they can follow the different accounts that whose content it is. It's pretty awesome. It basically lets anybody, just in a series of clicks, like it's not like composing a blog post, where it's going to take you half an hour to like put all the pieces together and do all the writing around it. This is just literally click, stack, send, done. So it's pretty awesome.
I remember that was a part in the presentation I was really excited about, because like you mentioned that too. Like for something like an event, this is such a cool tool to have, because you can just compile. Like if someone's like, oh, fun time at the show, you can compile that. And then if you took a photo with that person, that can be there too. It's a really neat, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's like a Twitter thread, because it's way more involved than that. It's almost like a Twitter thread meets like a virtual event album, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like a Twitter thread. If you could select other cool content that you want to be into that thread, be in that thread without having to manually put everything into new tweets and compile it. Like in this case, there's no copy or pasting or any of that. It's just literally click, stack, go. So it's something you can do in a matter of seconds, but it's just awesome. And then we have Thunderquakes. Thunderquakes are super cool. Everybody's activity on the platform generates Thunderquake points. And then once you have achieved a Thunderquake point, you have to send it to an account that you love and who you want to give more boost, more amplification to. So in my case, I'd probably be sending my Thunderquakes to WikiLeaks, because I love WikiLeaks. And then WikiLeaks would receive the Thunderquake point from me, and that gives them the ability to send a special message to the network. So rather than just a regular message which appears on their timeline and which their followers see, a Thunderquake actually sends a notification to all of their followers of a pre-scheduled message. So WikiLeaks might have like some special announcement or some special event that they're promoting, or some campaign. They're going to make a Thunderquake instead of a normal quake using that point that I sent them. And every single one of their 5 million followers, like all of their 5 million followers, are going to get a message that says, WikiLeaks has scheduled this Thunderquake, and that shows the content. Would you like to participate in amplifying this? and then whatever percentage of WikiLeaks followers say, yes, I do, I want to help them to amplify this, then when the scheduled timer on the message hits, when it fires off, it's going to automatically copy to all the timelines of everybody who has agreed to participate in spreading that. So you can imagine with WikiLeaks, that could mean that WikiLeaks has a message which automatically copies to 50,000 timelines or 100,000 timelines instantaneously. So it just makes this massive splash across the platform. And it's a way to really create a mass message that is going to get a lot more reach from followers, and the followers of your followers are going to see it. So it's going to have a massive impact far beyond just posting a normal message and hoping that however many people happen to be online and looking at it. This is a way to get much bigger buy-in and much bigger reach.
So, one of the things that a lot of folks have a problem with in the social media world, myself being one of them, and we've been seeing this a lot in the news lately, although this is something that we've all known for years, but I guess for some it's new, is the algorithms that Facebook, for instance, has, where they're monitoring pretty much everything you go to, everything you look at. And they do that to harvest your data to make money. And they do that to kind of feed you things to try to keep you on Facebook. Does Panquake do such a thing?
No, we don't sell your data, and you can know that we don't sell your data because we don't store your data. Every Panquake user stores their data, their account data and their private data on their own device. And this is one of our big innovations we achieved a couple of months ago. We completed our proof of concept for what we call the user data store. So we've proven that that a user can download our application files, and when they generate their user data, that stays on their device. There is no like central network where it goes to. So we don't have a copy of it. It's all stored, locked away with the user's own encryption keys, and it's not obtainable by any other person. However, the public data, like when you write your message and post it to your timeline, that is published to the blockchain. Just that part that you want the public to see is published to the blockchain. And what that means is there is an indelible, preserved record on the blockchain that everyone can see. And then if there is any moderation of that content, then everybody on the network can see when that was moderated, how it was moderated, who it was moderated by, and which account it was done to, which message it was done to. So unlike Facebook and Twitter, where they're constantly moderating you every single day and you don't know the who, when, where, how, why, or even if, unless people happen to be able to, raise some attention to it. On Panquake, all platform moderation is able to be tracked by all of the users of the network, and indeed the general public at large, which really holds us to account around our moderation practices, and gives users it's really, you don't have to trust us because everything is proven. It's proven through the blockchain records. You don't have to trust that we're not censoring people because you can see that we're not censoring people.
So yeah, and basically like the public posts being on the blockchain, well, that makes sense because when I make a post public, I want people to see it. I've never like posted
Right.
something publicly and I'm like, I hope nobody sees this. I don't want the
Yeah.
world to know that. No, if I post something public, it's something I want the public to see. If I'm having a conversation about I think I might propose to my girlfriend soon, and all of a sudden I start getting ads on Instagram for engagement rings, that's a little more, that's not, yeah, I didn't post about this. This was not public information. And by the way, I bring this up because it happened to me. Fortunately, my now wife and I, we did go ring shopping together, so she knew it was coming. But if I was just planning on the total surprise, it probably would have been ruined because she probably noticed if I'm scrolling Instagram that I get every third ad was for an engagement ring at the time.
Yeah, and you don't want people knowing your IP address and what operating system you're using and what browser you're using and what other tabs you have open in that browser and your browsing history. And you don't want them listening through your microphones. You don't want them looking through your camera. And we architecturally ensure that none of that will happen. We don't even browse a fingerprint on Panquake. We've actually engineered Panquake so that even we don't know what browser you are using. And that's another major privacy innovation because almost every web application on the planet fingerprints your browser. Same as our website doesn't have cookies. We're really lucky we have one of the greatest FOSS experts, free and open source software and privacy experts on the planet. Sean O'Brien is our chief security officer on this project. And we literally sit around dreaming up ways to deliver privacy and security innovations that no other application does. So that's a primary focus is for us. And not just to have a commitment that we won't do X, Y, Z, but to actually build it into the architecture of the platform that we cannot. So yeah, it's huge and I love it. As a privacy activist, I love it. It's a dream come true.
So for future users, you have here one affordable flat fee. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, and this is something I think there's like a little bit of misnomer about. We are basically saying we will solve all of your problems that you have with social media. We will get rid of the spying. We will get rid of the censorship. We'll get rid of the data collection. We will have an ethical commercialization model. We're not taking VC money. We're not working with corporations. We're not working with governments or security agencies. We will give you back your digital independence. And the flat fee is $5 a month. So if you decide that it's worth it to you to have for $5 a month to have all of those problems solved for you and to have a social media application that not just that you can trust, but that you can prove is trustworthy, then that's a really good deal. But we're also aware that $5 a month can be the difference between whether or not someone can eat this month. And this, not, even pre-pandemic, but certainly since pandemic, $5 can be a lot of money. So we have got multiple options for people who cannot afford the $5. So we have got compassionate accounts where you can actually literally say to us, I'm in hardship circumstances, I can't afford this, but I really want to use your platform, and we'll grant compassionate accounts. We also have the ability to gift accounts. So users can say, you know what, I can afford $20 a month, and that'll pay for me and for 3 other accounts for other people. They can do that as well. So there is a lot of flexibility there. I also want to confirm, because we actually literally just built this out. We just had every month we have a public delivery meeting and we tell our community what we've achieved in that month and what we're going to do in the next month. And what we've just achieved just in the last few weeks is we have built in the functionality for anonymous guest usage of Panquake. So the first time you come to Panquake, you actually get like guest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 account and like some random profile picture, and you can actually use the basic functionality of the network for free. So you don't actually need to, even register or go through the process of paying $5 to use Panquake. And that was a promise we made from the outset, and now our engineers have implemented that. So we've made good on that promise.
Lovely. So, let's talk about some of the more recent developments. We kind of talked about this a little bit off air, but Panquake, more than just being a social media platform that's great for users and solve some of the tech issues. You guys also have, I guess the right way to put it would be a kind of commitment to digital rights and to issues at large. And one of the things you've been diving into recently, which I have been made abreast of this because apparently I myself am on this list. There's been a collection of WikiLeaks supporting accounts on Twitter. And can you go into the details on this? Because I've just seen some tweets and I've been mentioned in them. But what's exactly going on there?
Okay, I'll give you a little bit of background on this. So Panquake, the project, is 100% crowdsourced. We've been powered totally by donations from people who really want to see this project come to fruition. And if you're one of them, jump onto panquake.com, hit the donate button, chuck us a few dollars, and you'll help to bring Panquake to fruition. But we didn't want to just be dependent upon generosity of random strangers in a crowdfunding network. We did face censorship from PayPal, which cost us thousands of dollars, and it was pretty clear to us that we needed to innovate around our financial model to be sustainable to complete the build as well, not just be dependent on a crowdfunder. So we thought, well, what can we do? Well, what we can do is we can educate our audience and we can educate ourselves about topics that are really super important to us. So internet freedom, privacy, security, digital rights, as you say, law, policy, etc. And so we started a publication called talkliberation.com. It's currently publishing on Substack. And so we had also had a lot of people through the crowdfunder saying, well, how do we give you a recurring payment? How do we support this project ongoing? And the Substack gave us a way to do that. So for $5 a month on our Substack, you can have video reports and articles every single week. It's called Your Worldwide Internet Report.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you scroll down there, you'll see there's a whole bunch of stuff. We've been at this for a few months now. So the video reports are hosted by the awesome Taylor Hudak, and our long form articles are produced by Taylor and our digital media team. And I should also be really clear, you don't have to pay to sign up for our Substack. We haven't paywalled any of this because we believe the content is really super important. So if you do want to financially support us to help us keep producing this amazing work, go ahead and select a paid subscription if you're able to. But otherwise, just sign up for free. You can, and you'll still get everything. None of the posts are hidden for free subscriptions. But just do us the favor of going share it to your friends, share it online. Read and watch the content and leave comments and tell us what you think about it as well. That would be really helpful. So then Sean and I came across some really super awesome and unique and important information recently. And we knew that we didn't just want to write 2 paragraphs about this or stick it, a 2-minute segment on a video. This needed a deep dive. It needed serious investigation. And we had the journalism chops between us and the technical chops to do it. So we started a new section on the Substack, which is called Talk Liberation Investigates. And that is full-blown deep dive, like 6, 7, 8,000 word with whole unique graphics and custom graphics and everything. And it's hardcore data journalism. So it's tables and graphs and charts and file repositories that we've openly published all of our the files that we've found, etc. And this first story came about because a WikiLeaks supporter came to us with one document that they had found rummaging around the internet that had mentioned their name in it. And they wanted to know what it was. They're like, this document looks really dodgy. Like, my name's in here. There's a lot of Assange-related people in here. What is this? And so we took a look at it and we went right into the provenance of it, the genesis of it. And we found 1,365 documents that were related to this document.
And who's
1,300. So it was all from a company called a technology, a software product called NodeXL. NodeXL is primarily used by a nonprofit called the Social Media Research Foundation, SMRF, and by a for-profit called Connected Action. At Connected Action, you can pay them $80 to generate a report to give you a social network map about a group of social media users who you nominate for them to track. And then they track everybody you talk to, what you talk about, what hashtags you use, what links you circulate, what domains are in those links, everything. And they can do snapshots at certain points in time or around certain events. And I'd just like to point out, this type of technology is totally benign if you are just interested in Persian cats and want to see who else is talking about Persian cats.
Right.
This technology is not benign at all if you're using it to target everybody who's talking critically about Raytheon, which is one example that we found, actually a whole bunch of files related to that.
So this is being used by people, and I know the one particular list that y'all have been talking about too is I guess somebody wanted to know who is speaking favorably about WikiLeaks.
Yes. So that was the very first document that we got, and that's the one that we have reported on in this first article. So we've called the series #WL Dragnet because this is what it is. It's a giant dragnet that is pulling in and profiling WikiLeaks supporters from around the globe. So this first document, the social network map, actually has 60 subgraphs in it. And each subgraph is a different set of users and keywords and hashtags. And one of the subgraphs was China and Beijing related WikiLeaks conversations. And one was Denmark and all in native language terms.
Russia
and
had to be
native
one too,
language
right?
hashtags. And yeah, they basically profiled the entire planet. They had Pakistan in there, for God's sakes. They had literally everywhere on the planet profile, Ecuador and London and everywhere else, Sweden and a whole bunch of different places. So when we first saw the document, we're like, oh yeah, well, the social network mapping technology, you see it all the time online. You see maps like this all the time, or graphs like this all the time. We honestly gave them the benefit of the doubt. We thought maybe it's just like some WikiLeaks supporter did it, or maybe just some academic is studying it or something, or some enthusiast, until we started looking through the keyword list in each of the 60 subgraphs in the document. And we realized that the level of knowledge you would have to know in Danish what the Danish press freedom hashtag is, and know like in Pakistan what the Pakistani like press freedom hashtags are all related, all tied into Julian and WikiLeaks in each of these graphs. Like the level, like I know people who are very close to WikiLeaks. I'll just leave it at that. And they wouldn't have been able to produce the type of graph of the level of sophistication that we were looking at. So that was our first clue. The second thing that was that when we started digging into the people who are behind this and who are promoting this technology and who are profiting from this technology, we discovered that their Connected Action, their for-profit company, which I said it's $80 a report or it's $350 an hour for a consultation, that's what they charge to their clients, that they had been running these automated job reports where they're not just doing a one-off for $80, but where every single week, same time every week, they're doing reputation management for these companies. And the clients or the job, the people feeding in the keywords for these automated jobs were the top 5 US defense contractors. So it was Lockheed Martin, it was Raytheon, it was General Dynamics, et cetera, et cetera. And also NATO, there's a lot of NATO event stuff in there, and other related, it was pretty obvious where the interest lay there. And so, of course, we then went back through, okay, well, who was behind Connected Action, who was behind Social Media Research Foundation, tracked them back to a company called Graphica, formerly Morningside Analytica. Graphica is literally staffed by like a 30-year CIA executive, as one example, Chris Bain, et cetera, et cetera. They have ties to DOD, to other US defense contractors, to the CIA, to the Pentagon, et cetera. So this is US military-related people with a for-profit company that profiles people who are talking about or interacting online about US defense contractors or targets, known confirmed targets of the CIA, State Department, Pentagon, such as WikiLeaks. So that first WikiLeaks chart that we've reported on was generated in the 5-day, 5-hour period leading up to 10:26 a.m. It was run on the 11th of April 2019. That is 6 minutes after Julian was kicked out of the embassy, Ecuadorian embassy in London. So within 6 minutes of him being hauled out of there, these people were running a report on everyone who had been talking about Julian and WikiLeaks for the previous.
So they've been pretty heavily contracted for this. I mean, this has been a plan.
That or they're psychic. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a total coincidence that within 6 minutes of him being thrown out of the embassy, they were profiling the entire global support community.
It'd be a hell of a coincidence. It'd be a hell of a coincidence. No, I think they've probably, I mean, this contract probably started a while ago. And
yes.
Wow.
And when we dug through the rest of the documents relating to WikiLeaks, which there'll be some more reporting on, sure enough, we discovered that other major events in WikiLeaks legal case or anything related to Julian, like, for example, when Siggi Thordarson, the Icelandic FBI informant, recently recanted his testimony, bam, another report run on WikiLeaks and WikiLeaks supporters. Like, whenever there's some newsworthy thing or something significant to his case, they run another whole profile of the global WikiLeaks support community. So you're correct.
Imagine being like the biggest like digital villain there. Be like, hey, breaking news, their star witness was lying about everything. Who's talking about this? Who's letting people know that their star witness lied about everything? Which, I mean, we don't even need to go into that guy. Great guy, by the way. What a resume, that guy. But finally made you laugh. It's not an easy thing to do, but I did it. I'm proud.
Oh, it is ludicrous. There is a real Dr. Evil element to it, especially when you get into these guys' ideology. So one of the things I did is the principal of Node Excel, Mark Smith, the like chief evangelist guy who goes around telling everyone it's great and they should use it and sign up to his little network. He is just unreal. You've really for a good time, grab some popcorn and watch one of his presentations. He goes around all these universities all around the world to talk about applied mathematics and social graph theory and social network analysis. And he does these 2-hour lectures, and the first hour and a half is like all full-blown, like basically science and mathematics stuff, until you get to like the last half hour. And then in the last half hour, like the shine starts to come off and he starts to like some of the ideology starts to bleed through. And this is where he starts talking about how this basically the internet, the marketplace of ideas, is uncontrolled and it needs to be controlled. It needs to be accounted for. This is his exact words. It needs to be accounted for. We need social accountants. We need to be the social accountants of social media. We need to be the auditors of social media. We need to be
it's just
the cultural.
ideas. Yeah.
We need to be the cultural accountants of the internet.
So they just throw academic jargon at really terrible ideas. Like that's all it is. And a lot of these players in the cybersecurity space. Now, I'm not saying that cybersecurity by itself is bad. Of course it's not. Like data privacy is a good thing. But when you get into the types of entities where they're saying like, oh, people having the internet is a bad thing. There's so that a lot of times it's people making up problems and then posing as the solution for it. I mean, we've seen stuff like that. I mean, we've seen domestic things like that here in the United States where people will start literal troll farms and then say troll farms are a problem and we need to help you solve this. And it's just a scam. I mean, it's just more or less a scam.
And it's the full-blown Cold War rhetoric. And like he says in one of our videos, the people, our people who are in control of things, they might be bad guys, but the other bad guys are more bad. And it's bad guy versus more bad guy, and like this.
That's the American apologia for what we do around the world. That's the American apologia for what we do around the world. And you hear it. Oh yeah. Well, not even just lesser of two evils, but the whole like, yeah, we're the bad guy and we're causing destruction around the world. But if we didn't do it, somebody worse would. Like, how about nobody does it? How about we try that? How about no one bullies the frickin' world? What if we just all tried to get along? Like, anyway.
Yeah. And then he starts talking. I'm just going to tell you this. He has this little slide that he puts up in almost all of his presentations at the end, right? An hour and a half into the talk, he puts up the slide. And it's what he wants, what he thinks should be done, what he says should be done to the people who are saying things that they shouldn't be saying on the internet. And literally, I wish I could share screen and show it to you. It's got 3 boxes. The first box says detect. And it's like a picture of a radar, and it's like this is how he sees his software. Node Excel is detecting the bad guys, and then the second one is a shield, and it says deflect, and it's like this is where you're like intercepting and like deflecting the conversation away from the stuff you don't want them talking about. And then the third box says deter, and it's a picture of a sword. Sword. We're going to take a sword to the social media users we don't like and deter them from posting online.
Wow.
Unreal. Absolutely unreal.
Well, this is my first exposure to all this stuff, but I look forward to, doing a deeper dive in all the stuff you guys are covering. And just as a refresher for everyone, go to talkliberation.com. To do a deep dive in all the stuff we were discussing with these firms who are apparently monitoring pro WikiLeaks accounts. Ooh, you care about press freedom. We better know who you are. We better watch you.
We better detect you and deflect you and deter you.
Yes, you might need deterred.
Because we're the auditors.
How arrogant can
we're
you be?
We're the cultural accountants.
Internet Auditors sounds like a really nerdy band.
And it's it's so cultish as well. Like.
What do you do for a living? I'm an auditor. You know about the internet? Yeah, I've heard of it. Well, here's what you know what I'm gonna go over there. I don't think I want to talk to you anymore. That's the guy at the party standing alone by the punch bowl, just like I'm the internet auditor. It's me. My sword has saved your life. You don't even know it. You don't even know it. I helped you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back to Panquake. Is there anything else before we close out here that you would like people to know about Panquake? And again, people can go to talkliberation.com to learn more about the investigations y'all are doing, and can go to panquake.com to learn more about Panquake, the platform. And what did I leave out that you want to highlight here before we sign off?
Well, it was really good to get a few laughs, because you can only laugh at these people. I mean, seriously, I'm not taking to anyone with a sword anytime soon. So all I can really do is sit here and laugh, or maybe use my pen as a sword and write a little blog post about them on an obscure blog. But doing my part anyways. But I think there is something on a more somber note to talk about, and it's important to acknowledge. And of course, that is that Panquake lost a key member of our team last month. And that's Annelise Garcia. And Annelise, she was just integral to our team. I don't know even how to explain how integral she was. We all depended on her. She was relentlessly positive. She's a relentless optimist. She was so kind and loving. She was the first person to offer help and always wanting to give more of herself, and just took on so many different roles with us because she was just so competent and so willing. And so she was tragically killed in a hit and run last month. And it was a huge blow to everybody who knows her and loves her. But most of all, it was a huge blow to her family, because she left behind a severely autistic younger sister who can't speak and never has been able to, and also her mother, who's battling cancer. And Annelise was the full-time caregiver for both of them. So she used to get up 7 o'clock in the morning, caregive for her sister all day, support her mum through her medical appointments and her chemo and everything, and then come home and work afternoons and evenings for Panquake. And also for Talk Liberation, actually, our publication. She was coordinating our digital media team there. So massive loss to her family. Really, really terrible loss to her family.
And a lot of people who listen to this show, I mean, we of course, we've talked about Annalise before, and I talked about it when she passed because, I didn't know her as well as you did. I didn't work with her in a formal context, but I knew her through her efforts with the People's Party and with her work with y'all, and she would schedule whenever you'd come on this show, and vice versa. And she came out to some of our shows. She was at the last show that Graham and I did together live in Los Angeles because she lived nearby. And in the short time I got to know her, kind of like you've been saying, her passion and enthusiasm was very infectious. And I knew that she took care of her mom. I did know that about her. And I didn't know about her sister until after she passed, but I knew that she had a lot going on, and I never heard her complain. I never heard her, be down about it, or she always just had, such enthusiasm for the world around her, and just wanted so badly to just try to make the world a little bit better in everything she did. And it was so heartbreaking what happened. And I did share the GoFundMe here, because I mean, Annalise did leave behind her sister who cannot speak, her mom who's battling cancer, and she was their caregiver. She was the provider for them. So it's been a huge loss on so many levels for so many, and you just wonder how something like this can happen. But if you do have a little bit to spare and you want to check out this GoFundMe, Annalise taken too soon, her family needs your help, you can find it right on GoFundMe. And please do consider a contribution. And I mean, we haven't talked directly since that happened, so very sorry for your loss and for the Panquake community's loss. And hopefully we'll I think the best thing we can do is to consider pursuing these things, because that's what she would have wanted. She would want to see Panquake succeed, obviously. And so
she was just absolute sunshine every single day. And losing her was such a shock. And at our next full team meeting, we all just sobbed together. Literally, our entire team, men and women, just openly sobbed for an hour because it was such an enormous loss. I cried for about 3 days straight. I cried till I had no more tears left. And ever since then, I've actually just felt quite peaceful about it and just feeling really grateful for having had her in my life, both as a friend and as a colleague. She was just sunshine every single day, 7 days a week. She was sunshine. And I want to tell you too, I did tell Graham, she was so proud of that photo that she took with you and Graham. She sent me that photo within microseconds of taking it. Like she was like, look, I met them. I was there. I met them. She was so excited about that and so proud because she loved you both so much. And also loved Jimmy so much and loved Steph so much. Steph had been on her show a few times too. Her best friend said to me, she was the happiest she'd seen her in years. And in that space of time leading up to her death, she was happy. She loved her job. She loved her social life. She loved her friends. She loved her family. She had everything together and going for her, and she was in a really great place. And that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's all any of us could hope for, really.
Well, thank you for that. And yeah, that really is. And yeah, it's rest in power. She was wonderful. She was really, and it was she was one of those people. Her enthusiasm was very, very contagious, and you couldn't help but have a smile on your face when she was around.
Her last voice memo to me, because we used to send voice memos to each other every day, her last voice memo to me was just her giggling. She has this like super infectious giggling.
She does.
And I'd said something to her which she thought was funny, and I got this voice memo back which was just the sound of laughter. There's nothing else, no words, just the sound of her laughing.
Perfect.
And and my last text message from her, my last instant chat message from her was her saying, hey, I know you're really busy at the moment, and I just want to let you know anything else that I can take on for you, any other way I can help, just let me know. I'm here, say the word. That was the last message. But to me, that just perfectly encapsulates who she was, like the laughter in the voice memo and her wanting to help.
That's perfect. Thank you. And thank you for all that you do. And again, everyone, panquake.com, talkliberation.com. And if you're interested in learning more about Annelise and how you can help, you can go right to the GoFundMe and type Annelise, taken too soon. Her family needs your help. And Susie, thanks so much for being here. And please keep me posted. Hey, when you come across my name, feel free to message me when you're doing this deep dive.
Yeah, I will.
When you come across me as one of the WikiLeaks people.
Yeah, well, it might be more than just WikiLeaks people. Also, a lot of Medicare for All references in those documents.
Other bad people.
Exactly.
They want everyone to have health care. That's kind of want the United States to catch up to the rest of the industrialized world. Let's keep an eye on them.
Gotta deflect them. Gotta deter them.
Deter them. Not everyone can have health care. Time for you to be deterred. I am not the bad guy in this scenario. I'm just looking out for the kind, warm insurance companies who are exploiting your life for profit. Wonderful.
Well, there's plenty more reporting to do, so keep an eye on it. Sign up, even for free, no problem. Sign up, talkliberation.com.
Thank you so much for being here, Susie.
You're so welcome. See you.
Be well.
Take care.
Peace. Bye. That was Panquake. Susie Dawson. Go to talkliberation.com to follow their research and go to panquake.com to learn more about the social media platform. And I think you can look into how it works to sign up and all that fun stuff. And of course, in memory of our friend Annelise Garcia, almost got choked up there a couple times. But what are you going to do? Let me go to the chat here before we sign out for the day. Bubblegum douche. Thanks for having a handle that just made me laugh right away. Bubblegum douche. Oh, I want to, man, can I have that? I want to be bubblegum douche. Get your news on with bubblegum douche. I love listening to Susie speak. Panquake is certainly sounding tasty. Yeah, they do all these like cupquakes and stuff. Yeah, it's really, and then the imagery when you see like, I mean, you can see a lot of it now just at the website, even though it's in beta and hasn't launched yet. But I can tell you, like I saw their demo, and I don't want to say anything I'm not allowed to say. But yeah, it's really the food imagery is very tasty. I know I'm allowed to say that much. It really it makes you crave a sweet treat or something. And I don't even like pancakes all that much. I'm not a big pancake guy. I would take waffle before I'd go pancake, but I like them. I mean, I don't dislike them. But Panquake, it makes you want to throw some flapjacks on the burner. Richard, what's up? UK. I miss y'all in the UK. I haven't been there for a couple years, but I can't wait to get there soon. And Richard, thank you for the tip. And you say, hey, Ron, greetings, buddy. Greetings, Shelly and Rich. All the best and love from Shelly and Rich. Good to see y'all. Are you still getting demonetized by the fucks? Every day is a new experience. Right now, I am not demonetized, but it changes every day. I mean, sometimes I still get locked out on the regular, even after going through the authentication just like I'm supposed to. Sometimes it works completely normal. Other times I'm just like locked out for however long. I just take it one day at a time. That's all you can do. But I appreciate your concern very much, Richard. So thank you, Bubblegum Douche. Thank you, Richard. And thank you all for being here. This was the interview portion of Get Your News On with Ron for the week. On Thursday, we'll be doing the headlines, where we just go through all the headlines of the week. And in the meantime, again, our guest today, Susie Dawson of Panquake, panquake.com, talkliberation.com, and of course, in the memory of our friend, Annelise Garcia. Graham and I have a stand-up show, by the way, November 27th in Los Angeles. You can grab tickets now at ronplacone.com. Grab those tickets. Do not wait. November 27th, Saturday after Thanksgiving. Come hang out with us in Los Angeles. It'll definitely be the last stand-up show, at least with the two of us, for the year. And probably the last one domestically in the United States with the two of us. Again, I mean, we'll both be touring on our own some. But as far as the two of us doing our tour together, it'll probably be the last domestic show for a little while. We'll be coming to other parts of the world. But yeah. And as far as my personal touring goes, Canada, I'm coming, and to some other cities in the United States as well. Should have more announcements soon. But in the meantime, November 27th, Los Angeles, California. Get your tickets, roplaco.com. And in the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy, she's asleep on her cat tree, sleeping soundly. And I will mention this real quick before we sign off. I actually got a little bit of good news from the vet this morning. Her medication, she had to get some tests done, and the levels came back good because the medication appears to be working, and it appears to be at the right level for her. So that's some good news. And again, I cannot put into words, and I mean this so sincerely, I cannot put into words how kind you all have been this year. When it comes to this was not the easiest year for Lucy. And I was very, very, very stressed out about it, and still am, but she's doing better, and that's huge. And the outpouring of love and support from y'all has been just amazing. I mean, y'all made me cry. I always talk like you guys made me cry with how just kind and supportive y'all were when it comes to Lucy. And I am thrilled that I have some good news for y'all. So thank you so much for everything. And Lucy, she says meow. She says meow, and I got a good report. My test came back good. And I say peace. I say peace, love, and a general strike. See y'all Thursday.